Long time it has been, of course, but what is up, you know? My name is SIF. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about episode 3 script prediction. Basically, I'm just going to be talking about my episode 3 script prediction, what I believe will happen in the episode. Now it's going to be a very basic version of what I think is going to happen. I'll also be wanting to do, if this video does well, I'll also be doing like a video talk about my episode 3 script wish list. So of course, if you guys like this is going to be a more realistic version, and the wish list is going to be kind of like a what I want series, but with my own twist in it. Talk about strictly the script, right? Okay, there you go, there's English. Wasting time, let's just get straight into the video with episode 3 script prediction. I believe it's going to start off with a torture scene coming with Abel, right? So of course, the rest of the boarding school, I believe, will judge you and give comments about how you will approach the interrogation yourself. The rest of the boarding school will judge you if you decide to, you know, either go too soft on Abel or if you go too harsh on Abel, depending on the characters surrounding you. So I believe like Lewis is going to be a bit more pacifist in a way that he's going to, you know, prefer the just talk approach rather than, you know, Violet. If you say Violet, you know, at the end of episode 2, I think she's going to be a much more, you know, kind of hit him harder, that sort of thing. But it depends, in my opinion. I think there will be a point where either one is going to be like, yo, that's too much. So obviously it depends on the characters surrounding you, and I think that's what's going to happen. Okay, so what is next, in my opinion, is the plan of getting back the kidnapped group from the boarding school. So after that torture scene with Abel, which I believe will be a great start to the episode, I think there's going to be some sort of plan where you discuss with the people surrounding you who you're going to take and how you're going to go along for doing this, right? So, you know, you're going to obviously take Lewis or Violet depending on who you saved at the end of episode 2, which is very significant, which is why I keep going back to it. So I believe this will be very significant when it comes to the actual, you know, group wise. You know, you got people like Willie and stuff like that, which I don't know how much of a role they have. They took Sim, they took Omar, they took, you know, Violet or Lewis, and I believe that's about it. And they killed Mitch. So therefore it depends on who is still alive and if anyone's really worth it. You know, you can't really take the kids because, you know, it's just a bit immoral and unethical, but it depends. And of course, we are kind of desperate in this situation with Lily's Delta group having the upper hand for the rest of the episode and of course the season. So Turtle did mention that whoever we saved, or should I say Skyban mentioned whoever we saved are going to, you know, we're going to know more about the past, and you know, it's going to be a very different scene, and we're going to spend a lot more time with them than usual. So which makes me believe that there will be different, you know, kind of dialogue options, because there's a lot of ways you can go about it. So you can have Lewis with a relationship, of course. If you saved them, there's the info with that. Obviously we're going to be talking about how they actually, you know, came to the boarding school. So how did Lewis get into the boarding school? Because the boarding school is for troubled youth. So if it's about the boarding school and how did he go, what did he do? Because I'm more interested about Lewis's past than Violet's, because Violet, I can see her, you know, she's been very insociable, etc. Whereas Lewis is a bit more happy and upbeat. So what's it called? For some people who had a relationship with Lewis, they didn't save him. Similar with Violet, you can have Violet relationship equals saved, or Violet relationship equals not saved. Then you also got Lewis friendship saved and Lewis friendship not saved. Violet friendship saved, Violet not friendship saved. So of course there's like 6 different ways, but obviously like 2 or 3 main branches of the storyline there. So we're going to obviously be talking about their past, you know, what the plan is, and then obviously there's going to be room for character development and how they got there. So of course you got how they got to the boarding school. So obviously Violet is obviously, like I said, pre-insociable and pre-introverted, and of course you have Lewis, which is the opposite. Lewis is a bit more ambiguous. I think he's a bit more mysterious, in my opinion, of his past. You know, all we know is he was best friends with Marlon, and that's about it. Whereas Violet, you know, we know about Sophie Minerva, we know about her relationship, etc., which is a bit crazy. And of course you can kind of guess Violet because she shows her personality more, and you can kind of link it with the past. You know, she's probably got into a fight or something like that. I'm very interested about Lewis's potential past. You know, I believe eventually we're going to have a journey. Of course, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be a journey, whether on foot or on horses, if they still left any horses, or some sort of transport to there. We're going to find it. We're going to, you know, obviously we've got Abel who's going to give us the directions, etc. Eventually we're going to sneak in, right? We're going to sneak in eventually, and I believe we're going to try to save the kidnapped bunch. I believe we're going to be sneaking in where, you know, we're going to have maybe Clementine and whoever he saved, Lewis or Violet, in, and then you're going to have some people on the outdoor, you know, looking out, you know, to make sure nothing's going crazy, right? You can't have a sneak-in mission with like all your 5 people or 6 people, right? So I think it's going to be 2. Obviously more connection between Clementine and whoever you saved. There you go, right? Okay, let's continue on. We're going to try to save the kidnapped bunch. I think we're going to either, of course, talk to Omar because Omar, I believe he's the one, you know, he got his leg injured, right? So I believe he's the most common one, you know, to be sitting still and idle rather than actually getting kidnapped to do labor work, etc., like Sim and Lewis or Violet, depending on who he didn't save. So obviously there you go. I think he's going to try to give us information and stuff like that, because he's going to be idle. He's probably not going to be doing any work, but rather getting his leg fixed, and then of course right back into the field for fighting for the Delta, right? So after that, after we try to save the kidnap, I think we're going to get caught by Minerva. I say Minerva because we're going to have some sort of, you know, talk with Minerva, because obviously the Violet Minerva thing is going on. We're going to get caught by Minerva or Lily, or something along those lines. But basically the main point is that we're going to get caught, and eventually we're going to be welcomed to the Delta. So we're going to be talked to Lily. I think Lily, we won't get caught by her, but we might get caught by Minerva, and Minerva doesn't know what Clementine and etc. Basically we're going to get caught somehow, and we're going to be staying in the Delta for the remainder of episode 3, because I think the boarding school's run its course at this point. I do still see it as having some sort of significance, but for now I don't see what is going on. So that is my part of the script. What do you guys think is going to happen next? Leave in the comments down below. Of course, I believe they are fighting another group, like Lily said in episode 2. Therefore I think we are going to be forced to fight potentially in episode 4, and episode 4 is going to be a war zone followed by relationship disaster, etc. But for episode 3, that's as far as I can think in terms of what is going to happen. We're going to get caught by someone while sneaking in to the Delta, and of course that is it. Of course, and of course tell me what you guys think. Of course, leave it down in the comments down below. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and in a bit.